We came to Malcolm X to find a way. That's the school song, the song that all students at Malcolm X learn shortly after coming. I think this symbolizes, better than anything else that I could say, the spirit of the school, the quiet determination that is a part of the institution's life, the same quiet determination to be free someday by whatever means necessary, as Malcolm would say, as long as it is intelligently directed and designed to get the necessary results. We came to Malcolm X to find a way in which we could make this world a better place to live, in which we could make ourselves the kind of people that our ancestors were, living in the greatness of the African genius that is a part, an inalienable part of our heritage. We came to Malcolm X to find a way in which we could rid this world of starvation, of the ugly sight of children going to bed hungry at night, a way in which we could rid our communities of the debilitating influence of narcotics, the kinds of drugs that not only stupefy, but that kill. We came to Malcolm X to find a way in which we could help this world to get its priorities straight, where we would not be thinking in terms of going to the moon when our limited dollars ought to be used to feed the hungry here on this earth. We came to Malcolm X to find a way in which we could restore all of the human beings oppressed in this land to the dignity that is the heritage of all people. And we know that we can achieve these things. We can achieve these things through the kinds of determination that marked the lives of Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, W.E.B. Du Bois, and all of those other glorious people who are a part of the history and the heritage of black folk in the United States. We came to Malcolm X in order that each of us could build a rung on the freedom ladder, rungs that began to be placed on the ladder long, long years ago. Early in this whole business of developing a freedom ladder was Gabriel Prosser, a slave who could not abide his condition as a slave, but who knew that he would not be able to free himself except through death, and was willing to give his life in order that he could demonstrate that it was not right for man to live in anything other than a free state. He gave his life and put a rung on the ladder. And then there was Denmark Vesey, a man who had the intestinal fortitude to work, to do what was ever necessary to free himself. But after freeing himself, this was in the 1830s in the state of South Carolina, he looked around him and he saw his brethren continuing in slave status, and he decided that he could not abide this condition. He realized, as most of us have, and all of us must eventually, that no one of us can be free until all of us are free. Therefore, he too gave his life in leading a rebellion in South Carolina, knowing that he could not win, but knowing too that he would be building another rung on the freedom ladder. And then there was Nat Turner, a different kind of man, a man of great religious instincts, a man who was a leader and born to be free, but who was enslaved under the kind of maniacal mentality that prevailed in this country in his time and for many years thereafter. He decided that he too would do whatever was necessary, including giving up his own life. And he did this. And he built another rung on the ladder. And there were many other people. We could talk about the Harriet Tubmans. We could talk about so many other glorious names. But coming into the 20th century, we saw a new kind of determination born, a new kind of determination as represented by W.E.B. Du Bois, who was the antithesis in almost every respect of Marcus Garvey. But they had one thing in common, the determination that they too would build another rung on the ladder. And they dedicated their lives to this in different ways, representing the different backgrounds that they had. But both believed, as all of us must, and all of us must someday know, that black is truly beautiful, that black is born to be free and black is born to lead. And they built their rungs on the ladder in that belief. And as we look through the pageantry of heroes in the wars that this country has fought and the suffering that black people in this country have endured, we come to the monumental spirit of Martin Luther King, who died at a very young age, but having built another firm and resoundingly important rung on the freedom ladder, creating a new kind of contemporary inspiration for youth to follow. And of course, the indomitable Malcolm X, El-Hajj El-Shabazz, who was the ultimate, because he was a product of all of the suffering endured by black people in this country throughout the course of their history. He suffered time in jail. He suffered all of the abuse that goes with just being a black man in the United States. He suffered the deprivation that goes with the lack of opportunity to develop one's potential. He suffered the indignity of having to watch his manhood slip away. But in spite of all of this, Malcolm X El-Hajj Shabazz was able to go through a process of spiritual redemption in which he rebuilt himself, both as a human being and as a man. And in his own unique way that will live forever, he built the ultimate rung on the freedom ladder. We come to Malcolm X to find a way now in which we can make the freedom ladder the road to the ultimate liberation that we must have as a people. We come to Malcolm X to find a way in which we can create institutions like Malcolm X in all parts of the black community throughout this land. We come to Malcolm X in order that we might, in becoming better human beings ourselves, create the foundation for the kind of humanity throughout this nation and throughout this world that will guarantee this world the ability to save itself, knowing that if it does not acquire this ability, that there will soon be no world to save. All power to those who understand what power is for, and to those who are concerned with engaging power for the purpose of liberating people. We must keep